Would not vote there. The federal government sued on behalf of the students at Prairie View. Leroy Sim fought them in court after court until finally, in 1979, in January 1979, the United States Supreme Court issued a one-sentence ruling for the Prairie View students. The Supreme Court said unequivocally that students have the right to vote at their college, whether that college is historically black Prairie View A&M or Harvard or anywhere else. The Supreme Court settled that question overtly and succinctly. The right of students to vote where they go to college is an overtly, uncomplicatedly settled matter of law in this country. But something has happened in the last couple of years in which elected Republicans around the country, again, not regionally specific, but around the country, Republicans in the last couple of years have decided that they just cannot abide this piece of settled law. Forget the Supreme Court. They are back to desperate on this issue. And if you want to know why, every few days now you're hearing about more people being arrested doing civil disobedience in North Carolina, dozens more people arrested just today. If you want to know part of the reason why, it's because what's happening to voting rights in North Carolina, along with a lot of other things going on in North Carolina. One of the Republican bills that's up in that state right now would try to make students stop being able to vote where they go to college by raising taxes. It would raise your parents' taxes, punish your parents with a tax hike if you, as a student, registered to vote at your college. But it's not just in North Carolina. The chairman of the Republican Party in Maine threatened several hundred college students for trying to vote back in 2011. In 2012, in New Hampshire, Republicans tried to block students from voting there. After the election, a Republican in Indiana proposed banning any student from voting if they paid out-of-state tuition. She did eventually give that up after the college Republicans pointed out that her bill would violate students' constitutional rights. Now in Ohio, Republicans there have proposed punishing universities for helping students vote. They would block schools from charging student voters out-of-state tuition. Ohio's public colleges say this would cost the schools hundreds of millions of dollars every year. That bill passed the Ohio House, and it is on to the Republicans in the Senate. There is an underappreciated radicalism that's at work here, and also a willingness to refight very much settled fights. This is a settled matter, but Republicans right now are relitigating it anyway, pushing laws that are straight out of 1970s Waller County, Texas. But it is no mystery why Republicans are so desperate to go there, even though this ought to be a settled matter. These are the results by precinct from Ohio State last year. It was a sweep for Barack Obama in a big way. It was also a sweep for Barack Obama last year at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Look at those margins. Nearly a sweep at the University of Indiana. Students tend to vote Democratic, and everybody knows it. Yet we have still this stubborn idea in our country that voting itself is a good thing without regard for how you vote. You could hear that yesterday in the remarks that President Obama made at Ohio State's graduation, when he quoted, of all people, President Bush.
I'm not going to get partisan either, because that's not what citizenship is about. In fact, I'm asking the same thing of you that President Bush did when he spoke at this commencement in 2002. America needs more than taxpayers, spectators, and occasional voters. He said, America needs full-time citizens.
America needs full-time citizens. We used to have a national consensus on that. I am not convinced that we still do.